So what up 2K fans? Welcome to another edition of NBA 2K22 news. We had some extra news trickling in and I always do my best to keep you guys updated. Most of this information is coming from NBA 2KW. Check them out at NBA2KW.com. They keep up with all the latest information, details, rumors. I've been following these guys for years and they're not just a news outlet. On their website, they actually have a My Player Builder where you can make builds online and compare them. They've been doing this a long time. I was here as far back as 2K18 making builds. This will definitely help you save time and save you from making some mistakes. So definitely check them out. Not sure if it's been officially announced yet, but Rui Hachimura might be our Japan cover athlete. You're looking at a screenshot from him in 2K22 Next Gen. And this is what he looked like in 2K21. And thanks to JJ Creates MN, we have a side-by-side comparison. Personally, I don't think I see a tremendous difference in the two faces. If you look closely, the beard looks exactly the same. But what is clear is the lighting is different. And it appears to be less sweaty. And you guys know how much 2K loves to detail that sweat. There's been some great artistic renditions of Rui throughout the community. Here's what it could look like if he was actually on the cover of 2K22. And we also got some more 2K22 Next Gen and Current Gen in-depth details about gameplay in the city, coming from Mike Wang and Eric Benish. Mike Wang says we want defense to be engaging and fun. That extends to everything on the defensive end of the floor, from steals to movement, to our body collisions to blocking. If what he's saying is true, that is a very good sign. I'm glad they're taking defense way more serious, because 2K21 defense was lacking big time. Now we don't want defense to be ridiculous like it was in 19, especially not in my career mode, but we do want defense to be respected and feel rewarding. Mike Wang says that everything was re-architectured and feels much better on the defensive end of the floor. It's also caused us to rethink a lot of things on the offensive side of the ball, how to make things more engaging in there as well. So you can see a new emphasis on stick skills and IQ being in the right place. I like how he said stick skills and IQ, because some people feel like the game should be dumbed down, more arcade, heavier on the IQ side, less on the stick skill side, and some people are intimidated by these new controls. Every single year, we actually have to learn new dribble controls. This is something I've talked to with my guys. It's primarily the reason I have to do an ultimate dribbling tutorial every single year. I'm probably gonna touch on that in an upcoming video. Eric says, if I can say one thing about gameplay that Mike and his team has done, making more actions of the game skill-based puts the controller in your hands even more. There's less randomness, there's less dice roll. It really comes down to you as a player in your style, your skill, competing against other people. So the game feels much more satisfying this year. I wonder if that's a testament to ball tangibility. Like if I time my reach for the ball, especially when people do the Curry slide, if that's still in the game and if it's still an exploit, will I be rewarded and will the offensive players be punished for trying to do these same exploits if I can actually predict what they're gonna do? Shout out to my guy Gideon Prime, who's been on 2K's neck about that every single year. Now this is Eric Benish's take on my career and the city. He says, one of the key components of it is that it's living and breathing. If I had to say there was a fault in the city, it's that it felt a little bit lifeless. As you roamed around it, the only people you would see is other My Players riding around on their skateboards or their BMX bikes. You didn't really get a sense of people kind of living their lives in the city, and it just felt a little off. If Eric Benish really said this, he's spot on. The city did feel a little dead after a while. It felt a little too big, and it felt really slow just trying to get around. And the fact that it didn't matter if you went to those other courts, because by the time you got there, you got less rep anyway. He allegedly says this year you step into an all-new city that's teeming with life. There's activity, there's interactivity. And that's a correction from my last news video. The NPCs, they populate the fresh city layout. They are throwing the football in the park. There's kids riding their bikes and scooters. There's people just walking around going shopping, walking down the sidewalks. It's a little more lived in this year, and it feels a whole lot more believable. Once again, if this is true, this sounds a lot more like Grand Theft Auto. And some of you guys know that Rockstar and 2K are under the same umbrella, under Take-Two Interactive. So it's not surprising that some of these open world aspects and ideas are starting to trickle down into the 2K series. And now that we have next gen, I can expect the city to have more stuff going on in it to make it seem more alive. But the one thing I'm afraid of is whether or not it functions correctly. Because to me, the more NPCs just means the more lag and the more time it'll take for me to load into the city in the first place. Historically, 2K has always been very ambitious. And although we appreciate that, it can be to a fault sometimes. He goes on to say, on PC and current gen consoles, a new neighborhood comes in the form of a cruise ship. It's an all-new dedicated basketball community. It's a neighborhood built on the spacious decks of a cruise ship. It sounds silly, but we like to say you get to hoop in nautical luxury this year. It has all the features you're used to and more. All the 3v3 courts, 2v2 courts, the trampoline ball, all of that is there. I think he meant the cages. And once again, I reserve the right to say that I'm not exactly sure and how the skill-based gameplay makes you feel more in control of how you play the game. So that's your news going into the weekend. Enjoy your time off. It's your boy Shake. Subscribe, smack that like for the hype, turn on notifications and stay tuned. And I'll see you guys in the next one.